Good morning, students. Students, in our today's lecture of chapter Dimension Analysis, we are going to solve the numerical problem related to the concept we had studied in the previous lectures. So here the problem is written in the blackboard, as you are seeing here. Thus, the speed of sound in air at the room temperature is 332 meter per second, and if the unit of the length is 1 kilometer and that of the time is 1 hour. Calculate this speed in kilometer per hour. As you are seeing here that this problem is very basic. But student, you have to solve this problem by the dimensional method. So here we are going to solve this particular problem by the use of dimension. As I told you, we have to required dimensional formula for the solving a particular problem for this type of problem. So here you are seeing that this is given 332 meter per second, and this value 332 is the numerical value, and I am taking it as in the system first. So it is represented by students n1 and for numerical value, and 1 is represented by system 1. You can also take this value in system 2, so there is no problem if you take this as n2. So what about meter per second? We are going to find the dimensional formula. So dimensional formula for this particular physical quantity, you are seeing there that this is speed and this is meter, and for meter we write L, and for time second this is represented time, so T. So when we comes it in the numerator, it becomes T minus 1. So this is the dimensional formula for this physical quantity LT minus 1. Now we are going to introduce U1. U1 is what? Unit. U for unit. 1 in system 1. So unit in system 1 is equal to what? Length. For length we are representing meter. So this is meter, and for time it is second in the first system. So this is second to the power minus 1. Now in the second system U2, we have to represent it as 1 kilometer. Length is represented by kilometer, so I am writing it as kilometer, not introducing the numerical value because 1 is already here. Now for time it is R, so I am writing it as R, and the power is dimension is minus 1. So this is U2 and U1. So we have got U1, U2, and this is N1. So we have to students find just N2. So we put the formula here, N1 U1 equal to N2 U2. So what is N1? N1 is 332 in bracket, U1 is M second to power minus 1 equal to N2. And what about U2? U2 is kilometer R inverse. Now I am just roughing it. So here we have to find N2. So N2 is 332 meter second inverse upon kilometer R inverse. Okay. Now we are going to solve it. Here meter is as it is, and 1 kilometer is 1000 meter, and this is second inverse. So I am taking it as common inverse in both. Second and 1 hour is represented 33600 second, and this is whole to the power minus 1. Now second to second cancel, meter to meter cancel, so it would become 332 into 1 by 1000, and this 3600, as you are seeing here that there is a power minus 1. So when we inverse it, so it becomes 3600. Now just solve it. Two zeros cancel, and you can just multiply this and then shift the point in the left side by one position. So I am multiplying it here, 332 into 36. So it would come 11952 upon 10, and divide by 10 means 1195.2. So this is the value of N2 which we have to find. So our problem here solved. So finally, what is our problem? in 332 meter per second equal to 1195.2 kilometer per hour. So this is the numerical problem related to which we have solved in by the dimension method. So I think you have cleared this particular numerical problem. In the next lecture we would solve some more numerical problems. So thank you students.
Welcome to online classes of Shivaji Group of Institution. Student, myself Jitendra Patil. Today I am going to explain some other method for balancing of reaction in redox reaction. Student, in previous class, I am going to explain oxidation number method. For today, second method is the ion electron method. Okay? Today, I am going to explain this ion electron method with the help of some example. First of all, take an example for this method, that is Cr2O7 double minus plus SO2 is the sulfur dioxide plus H plus to give Cr plus 3 plus HSO4 minus plus S2. This is a reaction which is balanced by ion electron method. Here is also some rules for balancing of the reaction by ion electron method. Most of the rules are common, but in last step one extra rules are added for ion electron method. First rule is the common. Given reaction is known as Scalander reaction, and find out the oxidation number of each and every element in given reaction. So here plus 6 minus 2 plus 4 minus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 6 minus 2 plus 1 and minus 2. After calculating the oxidation number of each and every element in given Scalander reaction, next step, find out the change in oxidation number. First one is the Cr present in Cr2O7 in plus 6 form moves to Cr plus 3, and sulfur present in sulfur dioxide, that is plus 4, move to plus 6 in HSO4 minus, plus 6 to plus 3, that is the decrease in oxidation number. So this one is known as reduction. And plus 4 to plus 6, that is increase in oxidation number. So this one is the oxidation reaction. This is the first step. What I do? First of all, find out the oxidation number of each and every element in given Scalander reaction. And two, the basis of change. First half reaction, that is SO2 gives HSO4 minus, and second half reaction is Cr2O7 double minus to give Cr plus 3. Here we make two half reaction on the basis of change. Student, these half reaction balanced by the ABR method. ABR is the atom balance reaction, which I explained in oxidation number method in last step. It means in oxidation number method, rule 4 applied initially in this manner. Okay, how will you apply this? What I do in ABR method? Element other than hydrogen and oxygen balance first. Sulfur 1, sulfur 1. Don't mention the oxidation number in half reaction. Reason behind, there is no need to mention the oxidation number during balancing of reaction by ion electron method. Okay? Now, element other than hydrogen and oxygen balanced, sulfur 1, sulfur 1. Okay? Oxygen balanced by water, here 2, here 4, 2 less, so make balance by water. Oxygen is balanced, and hydrogen balanced by H plus if required. So here is 4, here is 1, 3 hydrogen less. So hydrogen is balanced by H plus. Okay. Now, one step is added. For balancing the reaction by ion electron method, charge is balanced by the electron. Here total charge is 0. Here total charge is 3 plus and 1 minus is the 2 plus. So we add 2 electron in the side. So charge is also balanced. Now, second half reaction also balanced by the ABR method. Element other than hydrogen and oxygen balance first. 2 chromium multiplied by 2, chromium is balanced. Oxygen 7 balanced by water. Then we add 7 water molecule. And hydrogen balanced by H plus. That is 7 to the 14. So we write 14 H plus in left side. Now, last step, charge balanced by the electron. Here 2 3 are 6, 6 plus. 14 plus and 2 minus, 12 plus remains. Here 12 plus and here 6 plus. How will you balance? By adding 6 electron in left side so that charge is balanced. These two half reaction balanced by the ABR method. Now, both half reactions multiplied by a suitable number so that electrons are cancelled out. This is the rule. Both half reaction multiplied by a suitable number so that electrons are cancelled out. So, in first half reaction multiplied 3 and second half reaction multiplied by 1. After multiplying and then add 3 to the 6 and 1 to the 6 electron are cancelled out. Okay? Now, multiply. 3 to the 6 S2 plus 3 SO2 14 H plus Cr2O7 double minus 3 HSO4 minus 9 H plus 2 Cr plus 3 and 7 water molecule. Now, compound which are present in both sides make their balance, and then here water and hydrogen present in both sides. Lesser number amount move to other side so that after subtraction giving a positive value. Now reaction comes out to be Cr2O7 double minus plus 3 SO2. Yes, 9 H plus moves in this direction. Region behind it 14 H plus. How much is the 5 H plus? R remains, and 6 water molecule and 7 water molecule. So that 6 water molecule on the right side. So this comes out to be 2 Cr plus 3 plus 3 HSO4 minus and 1 water molecule. So this is the final reaction. And balance reaction, check it properly. 2 chromium, 3 sulfur, 3 sulfur. Now oxygen, 7, 3 to the 6, 6 and 7 to 13. Here, 3 4 to 12 plus 1, 13. And hydrogen is the 5H plus 3 and 2 the 5H. Now check the charge. 2 negative and 5 positive. So overall 3 positive. 2 negative and 5 positive. That is the 3 positive. And here is the 2 3 is 6 and 3 6 positive and 3 negative. This comes out to 3 positive. So 3 positive on right side and 3 positive on left side. This is complete balance reaction by the ion electron method. Okay? Note it down properly and revise the rule and apply the rule in any one reaction, and that will get the answer, final answer. Okay, goodbye.
Good morning, students. Welcome to Shivaji Group of Institutions. Students, now today I am going to discuss a new point, which is power set. In my previous video, I told about subsets of a set and proof of some theorems related on subset. And we also know if any set A has n element, then the number of subset is 2 to the power n. So now what is a power set? Power set. Students, its definition is that a set of family of all subsets given set, say capital A, is called power set. Is called power set, and it is denoted as power set of A. So what is power set? A set of family of R subset of a given set. किसी भी given set के जितने भी हमारे सबसेट्स होते हैं उनका जो सेट बनता है वो पावर सेट होता है. So and it is denoted by PA. For example, students, if any set A has A, B, C, 3 elements, you can see that the set A has 3 elements. Now, for power set, first we find out its subset. So, subsets, number of elements are 3. Number of elements इसमें कितने बचे? 1, 2, 3. N is equal to 3. So, number of subsets कितने बनेंगे students? Number of subsets. So, number of subsets वो होंगे 2 to the power n, that is 2 to the power 3 is 8. And what are the subsets? First, null set. Second, A, third, B, then C, 1, 1, 1. फिर not a 2, 2, 2. A, comma B, B, comma C, C, comma A, and then A, comma B, comma C. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, these are the subsets. Now, power set of A is the set of family of subset. So power set is that अब जो बच्चों सबसेट आएंगे सारे उसी में सेट फॉर्म में अगर इसको कन्वर्ट कर देते हैं तो पावर सेट बन जाता है. Then power set is that 5, A, B, then C, AB, BC, CA, then A, B, C. So this is the power set of given set. Now students, there are some theorems related to power set. So you can understand power set. Power set is the set of family of all subset. किसी भी सेट के जितने भी सबसेट्स बनते हैं उनका जो सेट होता है वो पावर सेट होता है. अब आप ये भी जानते हैं, you can also know that if any set has n element then subset are 2 to the power n, and in the power set there is also 2 to the power n elements. So there are some theorems based on power set. Some theorems based on power set. Theorem number 1. If any set A has n elements, then its power set has 2 to the power n elements. So students, if any set A has n elements, then its power set has 2 to the power n elements. Now students, proof. Let capital A be any set which has n elements. Now Students, capital A is the set which has n elements. So there are 2 to the power n subsets. So there are 2 to the power n subset of set A. We all know then 2 to the power n subset of set A. Because if any set have n elements, then number of subsets are 2 to the power n. Now, what is the power set? So power set is the set of all subset. Power set is equal to set of all subsets. All subsets of A. अब नाउ स्टूडेंट्स सबसेट्स हमारे सेट ए के कितने हैं 2 टू द पावर n. सो पावर सेट PA has 2 to the power n elements. So power set has 2 to the power n elements. Now students, the elements of power set is in the form of set. Understand students? Power set के जो एलिमेंट होंगे वो सेट फॉर्म के होंगे. So this is the first theorem related to power set students. Now students, theorem number 2. What is this theorem says? It says if capital A and capital B are 2 sets such that A is subset of B, then prove that power set of A is also the subset of power set of B. So now students, proof. What we given? We given that A subset B. A subset B given. And we have to prove what? Power set of A is a subset of power set of B. So students, this theorem says if A is a subset of B, then prove that power set of A is also subset of power set of B. So now let capital X, students, see this. Let capital X is a subset of power set of A. Now, students, listen clearly. We have to prove that if A is subset of B, then prove that B power of set is subset of power of B. Let capital X is a subset of power set of A. So ये जो कैपिटल सेट है स्टूडेंट्स वो पावर सेट का के अंदर है, इसका एक सबसेट है. इट मींस ये जो x है वो A का क्या हुआ सबसेट हुआ, क्योंकि जो पावर सेट होता है किसी सेट का वो उस सेट के सबसेट का सेट होता है. सो इट मींस x जो होगा वो किसका एलिमेंट होगा, एक तरह से A का एलिमेंट. देयर इंप्लाइज x बिलोंग्स टू, और ये सबसेट होता है स्टूडेंट्स, x इज अ सबसेट. सो x belongs to, x is a subset of A. बिकॉज X is a subset of power set of A and जो power set होता है वो हमारे पास सबसेट A के सबसेट से मिलकर बनता है और सबसेट उस सेट के अंदर तो होते ही हैं. इट मींस ये इसका अगर X पावर सेट में है, X पावर सेट का सबसेट है, देन स्टूडेंट्स X जो होगा इस सेट का भी सबसेट होगा. There implies X set X is also a subset of B because we given A सबसेट B. A के जितने भी एलिमेंट वो B के अंदर हैं, तो अगर X A में है तो X स्टूडेंट्स B भी कंटेन करेगा. बिकॉज रीजन लिख देते हैं, रीजन इज बिकॉज A सबसेट B. नाउ देयर इंप्लाइज इफ सेट A B सेट का सबसेट है, इट मींस ये जो X है वो पावर सेट का भी सबसेट होगा. देन X is a subset of power set of B and we have that X is a power set of A and we find that X is also in power set of B. So it means power set of A is a subset of B. So hence from first power set of A is a subset of power set of B. Hence the theorem. So this is the theorem. If any two sets A and B are given and A subset B, A के सारे एलिमेंट B में हैं, A subset B का है, then power set of A is also a subset of power set of B. Power set means subset का set. So let capital X is the subset of power set of A. कैपिटल X पावर सेट में है, पावर सेट A के पावर सेट में है. देन अगर कैपिटल X पावर सेट में है तो इट मींस ये X जो होगा वो A में भी होगा क्योंकि A के ही तो सबसेट होते हैं ये सब X जो पावर सेट में होते हैं. पावर सेट में A के ही सबसेट होते हैं. देन X is also a subset of A, but A is subset of B, then X is also subset of B. So this means X is also subset of power set of B. And we have taken as X is subset of power of A, so it means power set of A is subset of power set of B. So these are the two theorems based on power set of A. Now students, take an example to more knowledge about power set. If capital A is null set or empty set, then find power set of A and power set of A. So see students, solution. A is an empty set. So A has no element. So subsets, because this has no element, so power set में what is the power set? Because A has no elements, so number of subsets कितने हो जाएंगे इसमें? And number of subsets of set A is equal to 2 to the power n, because null set, so no elements, so this is 1, so number of subset आएगा 1. What is this? This is 5. So power set of A, so power set of A is a this is the one subset बनेगा और जो हमारे पास पाई होगा सबका सबसेट होता है, this is पाई only. So this is the power set of A. Because A has no element, it is null set, so subset इसमें एक बनेगा because there is no element, so 2 to the power 0, so 1 बनेगा और 1 जो सबसेट होता है वो 5 सबका सबसेट होता है स्टूडेंट्स. 5 is the subset of all sets, so 5 is the subset. अब सबसेट का जो सेट होता है स्टूडेंट्स विच आर कॉल्ड पावर सेट. सो पावर सेट ऑफ ए का पावर सेट, दिस इज कॉल्ड पावर सेट. नाउ अब हमारे पास ये सेट एक हो गया जिसमें इसको सिंगलटन सेट कहेंगे. सो देयर इज एन एलिमेंट. नाउ पावर सेट ए हैज वन एलिमेंट. सो नंबर ऑफ सबसेट कितने हो जाएंगे इसमें स्टूडेंट्स? नंबर ऑफ सबसेट इन पावर सेट ऑफ ए इज इक्वल टू 2 to the power 1 is equal to 2. What are the subset? 5 is the subset of every set, and then this set. So these are the subset. So power set of A is set of subsets, that is 5 and this. This is the power set of A. So understand students? So students, thank you for today's and keep learning.
Hello students, have a wonderful morning to one you all. I welcome you on a video lecture class, and the topic that was continued last 3 days, that is synthesis, written over here. Student, the topic synthesis that was clarified you, that was explained with you clearly. What is it? Because in synthesis we combine two or more simple sentences into one. We combine two or more simple sentences into one simple sentence. Fine. This is the one classification. We combine two or more simple sentences into one simple sentence. Fine. And there is another classification. We combine two or more simple sentences into one complex sentence. We combine two or more simple sentences into one compound sentence. So, these days we are studying the combination of two or more simple sentences into one simple sentence. Fine. Day before yesterday, I taught you that there are 7 rules of combining two or more simple sentences into one simple sentence. There are 7 rules, and the rules were that I have written before you. I think you have noted them down on your fair register. Fine. So, the first rule was using participle. The first rule of using participle. The second rule was using infinitive. The third one was using nominative absolute. Fine. And the fourth was using noun or phrase in apposition. And the fifth one was using conjunction and adjectives. And another one was using adverb of adverbial phrases. And the last one, use of preposition before noun or gerund. So student, these are the 7 rules of combining two simple sentences into one simple sentence. These are the 7 rules. And the first one was, the first and foremost rule, that is the using participle. So in using participle, I told you that the participle is classified into 3. The present participle, the past participle, and past perfect participle. These are 3 in number, and I'm writing over here. And that what is present participle? In present participle, I told you that the verb is in continuation form. The present participle. Fine. So in present participle, I told you that the subject will be same in both the sentence. The verb is in continuation form, and the first word, the verb that is completed first, that verb will be changed into ing form. That verb will be changed into ing form, and the second verb will be remain the same. यानी जो second verb है वो same रहेगी. जैसे the sentence मैंने आपको बताया था, seeing a lion I ran away. I saw a lion I ran away. This is the sentence will be like this: seeing a lion I ran away. Seeing a lion, comma I ran away. Fine. So present participle, I taught you. I think you have got this one. And after that, in present participle, there is another type of the sentence, just like the sentence I'm writing before you. I was ill. I did not attend the class. Fine. So you can say in both the sentence the subject are same. The subject are same in both the sentence. I, yes, and I is also here. Fine. And this one is past indefinite because did is used and did is the helping verb of past indefinite. Did is the helping verb of past indefinite. So it's a past indefinite tense. Fine. And this one does not denote any tense. This is a common sentence. This is a simple sentence, common sentence. Fine. And this one is your main verb. This one is your main verb. This one is your main verb. And there is a first form of the main verb. There is a first form of the main verb, and it is used. So normally student we know that in present, in past indefinite tense we use second form of the main verb. Fine. In past indefinite sentence we use second form of the main verb, but here there is a use of the first form of the main verb. So why is this? What's the reason behind it? Because did is used here. What is it? Did. And did is itself a second form of the main verb. Do, did, done. You know this thing? Do, did, done. So do in the first form, did in the second form, and done in the third form. Fine. So did is the main verb, but here did is used as a helping verb. Here did is used as a helping verb. So did is itself a second form of the main verb. So how can we use two second form of the main verb in a single sentence? Fine. Two second form of the main verb cannot be used in a single sentence. That's why whenever did is used in a sentence, whenever did is used in the sentence, in negative sentence, in interrogative sentence, in more interrogative sentence, we use only the first form of the main verb. We use only first form of the verb because of this reason. Because of this reason. Fine. So you have to know this thing that did is not here using as a main verb. Did is using here as a helping verb. Fine. So this one is your second verb. This one is your second verb. आप बीमार थे इसलिए आपने क्लास नहीं अटेंड करी. आप बीमार थे इसलिए आपने क्लास नहीं अटेंड करी. So the main reason is this. But the problem is before you that there is not any main verb in the sentence. The problem is that there is not any main verb in the sentence. Fine. Because I told you that the verb that is completed first, the verb that is completed earlier, you have to change that verb into present participle. Fine. It means to say you have to change into ing form, and the second verb you have to remain it same. You have to remain it same. It means there will not be any change into the second main verb. It means to say the second main verb will be finite verb. The second main verb will be finite verb, and the first verb will be infinite. The first verb will be infinite, because I have told you before starting the sentences, before start up the sentences, I taught you what is simple sentence. Simple sentences are those types of the sentences in which we use only one main verb. We cannot use more than one main verb. So finite verb will be only one, but infinite verbs, it means participle, gerund, and infinitive, these can be more than two. Fine. So I did not attend the class. So how will you get the main verb here? How will you get main verb here? So this one is was. So whenever is, are, am, was, were are used in the sentence, whenever is, are, am, was, were are used in the sentence, that will be changed. Fine. I am writing over here. Is, are, am, was, were. That will be changed into being. That will be changed into being. ये being में change हो जाएंगे. But the thing is that why we change them into being? हम लोग इनको being में क्यों change कर रहे हैं? Why we change them into being? Because these are the words. These are the helping verb. These are the words that have been come from this one. That have been come from this one. It means be, is the main verb, be is the main verb, fine. And these are the words. Is, are, am, was, were are the family member of this one. Are the family member of this one. So that is why we changed was into be. So the sentence will be like this: being ill, comma, I did not attend the class. Being ill, I did not attend the class. Fine. If the sentence will be like this: she was tired of walking. She lay down to take rest. She was tired. So which type of the sentence is this? She was tired, because Izaram and was are used in the sentence, and tired also used. This is the passive voice sentence. This is the passive voice sentence. And she lay down to take rest. So how will you change it? Being tired of walking. Being tired of walking, comma, she lay down to take rest. She lay down to take rest. Sometime we use present participle as denoting to your object, just like I saw my friend yesterday. I saw my friend yesterday. Full stop. He was abusing to someone. He was abusing to someone. Yesterday I saw my friend abusing to someone. Yesterday I saw my friend abusing to someone. Fine. So students, sometimes your present participle denotes your subject, and sometimes your present participle using as a is, are, and was, were form, and sometimes your present participle denotes your object. Fine. And past perfect participle and past perfect participle. So student, I'll teach you slowly so that you can get all things and all points very clearly, because it's a new topic for you. You have not studied this topic earlier. So you have to make a revision of all this topic and go through all the things. If anything is not clear to you, so you can quench your thirst on your queries class. So I hope so that you are getting this topic very well. The synthesis topic is very interesting for you. And till then, I just want to say you have a nice day. One over.
हेलो स्टूडेंट, गुड मॉर्निंग। कक्षा 11 सामान्य हिंदी के अंतर्गत बच्चों, आज जो हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं वो है काव्य खंड के अंतर्गत साखी शीर्षक। बच्चों, इसके पूर्व के वीडियो में भी मैंने कबीर दास द्वारा रचित साखी के दोहों की व्याख्या आपको पढ़ाई थी। आज मैं साखी के अंतर्गत 5वें दोहे की व्याख्या आपको पढ़ाने जा रही हूँ। बच्चों, परीक्षाओं में काव्य खंड से संबंधित पद्यांश दिया जाता है और उस पद्यांश पर आधारित प्रश्नों के उत्तर आपको लिखने होते हैं। तो यदि आप व्याख्या को बहुत अच्छी तरीके से नहीं पढ़ेंगे तो आप प्रश्नों का उत्तर देने में समर्थ नहीं होंगे। तो हम देखते हैं दोहा संख्या 5 की व्याख्या। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं, चिंता तो हरि नाम की और न चिंता दास, जो कुछ चितवे राम बिन सोई काल के पास। प्रस्तुत दोहे में कबीरदास जी ने संसार की क्षण भंगुरता का क्या किया है? वर्णन किया है। दोहा छंद आप पढ़ रहे हैं। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं, चिंता तो हरि नाम की, मेरे पास तो भगवान के नाम की स्मरण की ही सदैव चिंता लगी रहती है, और न चिंता दास, और मेरे पास कोई दूसरी चिंता नहीं है। जो कुछ चितवे राम बिन, इस संसार में राम के अलावा जो कुछ भी दिखाई देता है, सोई काल के पास, काल माने होता है बच्चों मृत्यु, वही मृत्यु के समीप है, अर्थात क्षण भंगुर है या नष्ट हो जाने वाला है। ये संसार कैसा है? क्षण भंगुर है, माया है, जो एक न एक दिन क्या हो जानी है? नष्ट हो जानी। तो कबीरदास जी कहते हैं, चिंता तो हरि नाम की और न चिंता दास, जे कुछ चितवे राम बिन सोई काल के पास। नाव का अर्थ बेटा नौका नहीं लेंगे आप, क्या लेंगे? नाव का मतलब नाम। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं कि मेरे पास तो सदैव भगवान के नाम के स्मरण की ही चिंता रहती है और मेरे पास कोई चिंता नहीं है। जो कुछ चितवे राम बिन, इस संसार में राम के नाम के अतिरिक्त जो कुछ भी दिखाई देता है सोई काल के पास वही नष्ट हो जाने वाला नश्वर या क्षण भंगुर है। बच्चों, हम कौन सा छंद पढ़ रहे हैं? यहाँ पर दोहा छंद पढ़ रहे हैं। भाषा कबीरदास की कौन सी बताई थी मैंने? सधुकड़ी भाषा पढ़ रहे हैं। लक्षणा शब्द सत्य, और जहाँ भक्त, यहाँ पर भक्ति रस है, और जहाँ पर बच्चों भक्ति रस होता है वहां पर प्रसाद गुण होता है। आ गया होगा बच्चों समझ में? अब हम आते हैं साखी नंबर 6 पर, दोहा संख्या 6 पर। तू तू करता तू भया, मुझ मैं रही न हूं, बाली फेरी बल गई, जित देखूं तित तू। कबीरदास जी ने यहाँ ईश्वर की महिमा का क्या किया है? वर्णन किया है। तू तू करता तू भया। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं कि हे परमात्मा, तुम्हारे नाम का स्मरण करते करते मुझ में रही ना हूं। मैं माने होता है अहंकार। मेरे अंदर का जो अहंकार था वो क्या हो गया? समाप्त हो गया। बाली फेरी बली गई, जब मैंने अपना सर्वस्व आपको समर्पित कर दिया। चित देखूं तित तू, तो उसका परिणाम क्या हुआ कि मैं जिधर देखता हूं उधर मुझे वह परमात्मा ही नजर आता है। बच्चों, इस दोहे की व्याख्या को पुनः एक बार आप पढ़ें। तू तू करता तू भया, मुझ मैं रही न हूं, बारी फेरी बली गई, जित देखो तित तू। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं कि हे परमात्मा, तुम्हारे नाम का स्मरण करते करते मेरे अंदर का जो अहंकार था समाप्त हो गया और मैंने अपना सब कुछ आपकी भक्ति में लीन कर दिया, जिसका परिणाम क्या हुआ कि मैं अब जिधर भी देखता हूँ उधर मुझे आपके ही दर्शन होते हैं। यहाँ भी बच्चों आपने कौन सा छंद पढ़ा? दोहा छंद पढ़ा। अब जैसे बच्चों आ रहा है तू तू, तो यहाँ पर तू तू में पुनरुक्ति प्रकाश अलंकार है। इसी के साथ ही बच्चों अनुप्रास अलंकार भी आपको देखने को मिल रहा है। भक्ति रस पढ़ रहे हैं और प्रसाद गुण है और सधुकड़ी क्या है? भाषा है। आते हैं बच्चों दोहा संख्या 7 पर। दोहा इसलिए कह रही हूँ क्योंकि जितनी भी साखियां कबीरदास द्वारा लिखी गई हैं वो किस छंद में लिखी गई हैं बच्चों? दोहा छंद में लिखी गई। तो आते हैं दोहा संख्या 7 पर। कबीरदास कहते हैं, कबीर सूता क्या करे, काहे न देखे जाग, जाके संग तय बीछुड़िया, ताही के संग लाग। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं कि हे अंतरात्मा, हे आत्मा, सूता माने सोई हुई, तू अज्ञानता वश सोई हुई क्या कर रही है? काहे न देखे जाग, ज्ञान को धारण कर तू जाग कर संसार की वास्तविकता को क्यों नहीं देखती? जब तू ज्ञान को धारण कर लेगी तो तुझे आभास होगा जहाँ की संग तय बीछुड़ियां, उस परमात्मा का अंश होते हुए तू उस परमात्मा से क्या हो गई है? अलग हो गई है। ताही के संग लाग, अपनी भक्ति के द्वारा तू उस परमात्मा से पुनः एकाकार हो जा। बच्चों, इसकी व्याख्या को भी मैं पुनः पढ़ाऊंगी, उसका कम समझ में आई होगी आपको। कबीरदास जी कहते, कबीर सूता क्या करे, काहे न देखे जाग, जाके संग तय बीछुड़िया, ताही के संग लाग। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं कि हे अंतरात्मा, अज्ञानता वश तू क्यों सोई हुई है? ज्ञान को धारण कर तू जाग जा, और जब तू ज्ञान को धारण कर लेगी तो वास्तविकता का ज्ञान हो जाने पर तुझे यह आभास होगा कि जिस परमात्मा से अलग होकर तू इस संसार में आई है, अपनी भक्ति भावना के द्वारा तू उसी परमात्मा को प्राप्त कर लेगी। बच्चों, यहाँ भी अनुप्रास अलंकार है। छंद कौन सा पढ़ा आपने? दोहा छंद। भाषा कौन सी पढ़ी? सधुकड़ी भाषा। रस कौन सा है यहाँ पर? भक्ति रस होगा, और भक्ति रस होने के कारण प्रसाद गुण होगा। बच्चों, कबीर ने अपने ज्ञान के द्वारा परमात्मा की प्राप्ति के मार्ग को सुगम बताया। उनका मानना था कि आत्मा जो है वो परमात्मा का अंश है और आत्मा परमात्मा से बिछड़कर इस संसार में आती है, और यदि वो जो है सच्चे कार्य सत्कार्य करती है तो एक बार पुनः उसी परमात्मा से उस आत्मा का एकाकार हो जाता है। आते हैं बच्चों दोहा संख्या 8 पर। केशव कही कही कूकिए न सोइए असरार, रात दिवस कै कूकड़े कबहू लगे पुकार। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं केशव कही कही कूकिए, हे आत्मा, केशव ईश्वर के लिए, हे आत्मा तुम निरंतर भगवान के नाम का स्मरण करती रहो। ना सोइए असरार, असरार माने होता है आलस्य से ग्रसित होकर, आलस्य से ग्रसित होकर तुम भगवान के नाम का स्मरण मत बंद कर। रात दिवस के कूकड़े, जब रात दिन तू उस परमात्मा के नाम का स्मरण करेगी, कब मुंह लगे इस पुकार, तो कभी ना कभी वो परमात्मा तेरी पुकार को अवश्य सुनेगा। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं, क्या कहते हैं, केशव कही कही कूकिए ना सोइए असरार, रात दिवस कै कूकड़े कबहू लगे पुकार। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं कि हे अंतरात्मा तुम निरंतर प्रभु के नाम का स्मरण करती रहो और आलस्य से ग्रसित होकर प्रभु के नाम का स्मरण जो है भूलो नहीं। जब तुम रात दिवस, रात और दिन उस परमात्मा के नाम का स्मरण करती रहोगी तो कभी ना कभी वो परमात्मा तुम्हारी पुकार को अवश्य सुनेगा। बच्चों यहाँ शब्द आया है कही कही, तो एक अलंकार होता है पुनरुक्ति प्रकाश अलंकार। तो यहाँ बच्चों कही कही में कौन सा अलंकार है, पुनरुक्ति प्रकाश अलंकार है। इसके साथ ही असरार पुकार अनुप्रास अलंकार है। भाषा कौन सी पढ़ी आपने, सदुक्कड़ी भाषा। छंद कौन सा पढ़ रहे हैं, दोहा छंद। बच्चों आया समझ में। अब आते हैं हम बच्चों साखी संख्या 9 पर, दोहा संख्या 9 पर। कबीरदास जी क्या कह रहे हैं, लंबा मार्ग दूरी घर, विकट पंथ बहुमार, कहूँ संतों क्यों पाइए, दुर्लभ हरि दीदार। दीदार माने होता है दर्शन, दुर्लभ माने कठिन, विकट माने भयानक, पंथ माने रास्ता। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं लंबा मार्ग दूरी घर, उस परमात्मा से मिलने का जो मार्ग है वो अत्यंत क्या है, लंबा है। दूरी घर, और उस परमात्मा का जो घर है वो बहुत ही दूर है। विकट पंथ बहुमार, और रास्ता कठिनाइयों से भरा हुआ है। अनेक प्रकार की कठिनाइयां जो हैं भक्ति भावना रूपी रास्ते पर आएंगी। कहो संतों क्यों पाइए, इसीलिए संतों ने कहा है दुर्लभ हरि दीदार। हरि माने होता है ईश्वर का, ईश्वर का दर्शन करना अत्यंत ही कठिन है। कबीरदास जी क्या कहते हैं, लंबा मार्ग दूरी घर। कबीरदास जी कहते हैं कि उस परमात्मा से मिलने का जो रास्ता है, साधना रूपी रास्ता है, वो अत्यंत लंबा है। दूरी घर, और उसका निवास स्थान बहुत ही दूर है। विकट पंथ बहुमार, मार्ग का मतलब यहाँ कठिनाइयों से लेंगे, और उस विषम रास्ते पर अनेक प्रकार की कठिनाइयां आती हैं। कहो संतों क्यों पाइए, संतों ने इसीलिए बताया है कि दुर्लभ हरि दीदार, कि परमात्मा का दर्शन करना अत्यंत ही कठिन है। बच्चों तो ये जो दोहे मैंने आपको पढ़ाए समझ में आ गए होंगे। ये जो टॉपिक चल रहा है साखी, इसको मैं अगले वीडियो में भी जारी रखूंगी। आप सभी को गृह कार्य दे रही हूँ कि ये जितने भी दोहे मैंने आपको पढ़ाए हैं इनकी व्याख्या आपको HW की कॉपी पर करनी है। तो बच्चों आज के लिए इतना ही पर्याप्त है। हैव अ नाइस डे।